In the previous lesson, we stopped the survivor from exiting the playing zone, and for that, we needed to introduce some very basic paths. Now, it is our job to make our camera intelligent, that is, we don't want it to really film outside of the map. So I've recorded two clips to better illustrate this scenario. Here at the left, we can see what we currently have. That is, as the survivor moves, the camera is filming outside and we can see that ugly background. Whereas in the right, we have what we really want. That is, the camera knows how to detach when the survivor reaches one of the borders of the map. This is what I call an intelligent camera. So, we need to know when to stop the camera from following the survivor and make its position fixed. Here are some key points. First, the survivor is moving. Then the camera is also moving. Therefore, we need to check the condition every frame. So, we will use the update loop instead of the start method. Then we will introduce two Boolean variables. They will be called detach camera in X and detach camera in Y. Both of them will be made private. Then we will determine to detach or not using these conditions. In the next slide, I will explain these formulas. So, if the absolute value of the v3playerPos.x plus half the width of the camera is greater or equal than half the width of the background, do something. And the same for the height okay? So let's see this. And the last step, is to modify the corresponding camera code based on these variables' values. Let's see an example. So, how to determine the detaching conditions? We have the v3playerPos.x, that is the x position of the player's vector position, okay? This distance. Then we have half the width of the camera, that is this distance, okay? From this middle point to this rightmost point. And then we have this distance that is half the width of the background. So the condition is, if the absolute value of the v3playerPos.x, this distance, plus half the width of the camera is greater or equal than half the width of the background, then we detach the camera in X. But if not, we don't detach it. We use the absolute value because we don't really mind if this distance is positive or negative in case the survivor is right behind the y-axis. So, let's see that in code. Go to your Unity project and double-click on your intelligent camera script. We will need to define some variables here. These variables will be the detaching conditions or detaching variables. So, private bool detach in X and detach in Y. Alright, so let's go to code, and here we say detaching, check for detaching. So if the absolute value of our v3playerPos.x plus half the width of the camera, of the camera is greater than or equal half the width of the background, then we do the following. We say detach in X equal true. If not, there must be something wrong here. No, it's okay. So detach in X equals false, and we finish this for loop, this if loop. This if condition. I don't know why it is not recognizing me this. So let's take a quick look. Yeah, okay, we didn't close this curly brace. Okay, my fault. Okay, so close it, and that's it. And we do the same thing for the height. Okay, so if math dot absolute value of our b3 player pos dot y plus half the height of the camera is greater or equal than half the height of the background, then we do this: detach in y equal true. If not, then we just don't detach it in y. Okay, detach in y equal false. Alright. Now, the next thing to do is to, well, we will comment out this code, okay? We will eliminate it. Don't be worried about this, okay? So just comment it out or just delete it. And don't worry about that. That code just was wrong if we want to make our camera intelligent. So basing ourselves in the upper conditions, that is in the detaching x and detaching y values, so we make our camera intelligent. So if not detach in x and not detach in y, so if those values are both false, then we say camera dot main dot transform dot position will be equal to new vector 3, and then we say v3 player pos dot x v3 player pos dot y, and then camera dot main dot transform dot position dot c. Okay, this is just the same code as we have here below. Okay, so else if, okay, so else if not detach camera in x, sorry, not detach camera, if not detach in x, but detach in y, that means if detaching x is false but detaching y is true, then guess what? Camera dot main dot transform dot position equals new vector 3, whose coordinates will be v3 player pos dot x sorry, camera dot main dot transform dot position dot y, and camera dot main dot transform dot position dot c. That's it. So now, else if detach in x and detach in y, we do this: camera dot main dot transform dot position will be equal to new vector 3. Well, I will change this condition, okay, to make it symmetric. So then we have this: camera dot main dot transform dot position dot x for the x value, then v3 player pos dot y, and then camera dot main dot transform dot position dot c, just like that. And finally, if detach in x and detach in y, that is, if both values are true, then camera dot main dot transform dot position will be equal to a new vector 3 with the next coordinates, camera dot main dot transform dot position dot x, camera dot main dot transform dot position dot y, and camera dot main dot transform dot position dot c. That's it. If you really want to be able to watch, to not to make those lines of code too large, you know, too long, you can just quote these lines like this. So here we have our conditions, and that's it. If you play your game now, let's delete this code. If you play your game now, you should see the intelligent camera in action. So go to File and Save All. Go back to your game and check if there is no errors in the console. So no errors at all, and now let's play the game. Okay. Let's play the game. And let's check if our camera is intelligent. That is, if it's not filming the outside. Alright, so it seems like it works. Okay, so that was all for this video. In the next lecture, we will add some assets like the sandbags and the trucks. We're finished with our camera. So thank you so much guys for watching this lecture. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you have any question regarding the maths or whatever, please ask me. Don't have a doubt about that. So see you in the next lecture.